Welcome to the Interrogation True Crime Stories podcast. All the stories told on this show are either fabricated, alleged, or didn't happen at all and shouldn't be used in the court of law. We hope. Welcome to the Interrogation True Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, Corey David. Today we have a special guest with us. It's Roger Haak, everybody.
Hey,
say hello to people.
Hello, people.
Yeah, man.
Hello.
I'm happy to have you here. It's been a while. I mean, I know we've talked about this a little bit already since we've been hanging out, but it's just nice to have a sit down and have a couple beers together.
It's so nice. We hung out recently, but I haven't been able to hang out with my friends and folks in general, so just being able to spend time with you has been great.
I know the word to the wise for everybody is, make time for your friends, even if it means, and this is the way I operate, and I know you're kind of the same. If it doesn't go in the calendar, it's never going to happen. Yeah, even if it's friend stuff, it's like, nope, I am hanging out with Roger on this day.
I'm going to set a notification to remind me 10 minutes before, an hour before, and 3 weeks before.
I mean, that's just the way I operate. Like, 'cause my brain's moving, 1,000 miles a minute, and my to-do list changes every goddamn day with all the different things that we're doing. And
dude, I have to put it in my calendar, and I'll still forget that it's in my calendar until my wife sees our shared calendar and says, "Hey, you got this going on." I'm like, "Oh, great. I got this other built-in notification system."
Yeah, right. So you have somebody else, like a physical one to tap you on the shoulder.
Hey, by the way, in about 30 minutes, you're supposed to be downtown. Oh, thank you for telling me.
I knew significant others were good for something. Yeah, it's just to remind you of the shit you have to do.
Yeah, it's like, I do solemnly swear, like, what is it? Oh, no, I'm doing court stuff. But I take thee, Roger, to be thy lawfully wedded wife, and also remind you of the time you're supposed to hang out with Corey David on March 24th.
Honestly, a good partner, like that's somebody that's looking out for your best interests. Because, it's so easy to, everybody's, like we kind of talked about, like everybody's busy. Everybody has their own shit going on, which is real.
They're carrying their load. They have their life, and it's sometimes hard to end up talking with your friends about it and expressing it if you don't make the time to be with them.
Oh, absolutely. So I think I'm happy that
Thank you for spending the time and putting my name in your calendar.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say you're the only name in the calendar this month, so yeah, I'm glad we could make it happen. But tell us a little bit more about what you got going on. So just for anybody that doesn't know, Roger is one of the coordinators for New Talent Night at Comedy Works. If you're unfamiliar, which I think most of the people that listen to the show are, Comedy Works is like the club in town. It's the place. It's the big show,
and not even just the club in town. It is one of the clubs in the country.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's not us trying to. I don't know. It can come off disingenuous sometimes when you say that. It's like, this is one of the best clubs. No. This is really. Yeah. This place is special.
But other people say that too, like from around the country. That's how you know it's valid.
Yeah. One time I remember I was working office staff. This was way back when. So I was working office staff, and Dave Chappelle had a layover in Denver, and this was just for the day, and he just poked his head in just to say hi. Because he was like, "Oh, just want to see if anyone's here." I know, just want to, because he cared about, and still cares about that club. But at the time, it's just that's what the big names would do. They would just come over, even during the afternoon, just to say hello, because that's how much they love this club. It's not just about the stage time; it's about the room itself, the people who work there, the people who run it. The people who open it and close it. It's really, truly one of the most magical spaces in the country for stand-up comedy.
Yeah, and also it speaks a lot to comedians in general. I think people in general, we just you land in a town or you have a layover and you just gravitate towards what you know. Yeah. If you had a layover like Dave or something and you're like, well, I don't really know anybody else here. I'm just going to go to where comedy happens and assume I might run into someone that at least speaks the same language as I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that happens more often than not. Like if I'm on a work trip or I'm out of town and I don't have a show scheduled or something, I'll just, you look up where are the open mics.
Yeah.
I just want to be.
Yeah,
this is what I know.
Where did the other lizard people go?
Yeah,
exactly. Because that's what it feels like. It's like I don't want to just go to some regular civilian place. Like, no, I want to go to an open mic because at least that person can talk normal speak to me. That can make me feel like I'm a less crazy person.
Yeah, I can throw out some like dead baby joke here, and it's a bad joke, but they're gonna like not kick me out of this diner.
Yeah, it's like you better next time.
Yeah, I find that with beer too, where I don't plan my trips around craft beer, but I find that if I have time to fill during the day, it's an easy kind of, all right, well, I got time to kill. I might as well go check out a craft brewery, because at least I know that I'll have a beverage, but more often than not, people that are there are going to be like cool or nice, maybe and talkative, like you can go and hang and not worry about just showing up to like an Olive Garden or showing up to some other random establishment and hoping for some conversation. It's like, I can at least feel comfortable here.
Yeah, you can show your Colorado ID at a craft brewery and find plenty to talk about.
Oh, they'll take you in the back.
Dude, for real. Yeah. They're going to let's try out this cool beer over here that we're not even going to release to the public for another 3 months. And so you can taste it as it's actual still brine and it still sucks.
Oh, totally. And it tastes terrible. Totally. You want to go see some stainless steel tanks that you've definitely never seen anywhere else before?
Come on, let's do it.
I got so done with brewery tours after a while, man. You're like, I get it.
Dude, but you got to go to the Boulevard Brewery Tour. Have you done Boulevard yet?
I haven't done Boulevard.
Boulevard is fun. If only just for the history of that brewery. Because I've been to other brewery tours, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. But Boulevard Brewery was cool. You get to get a lot of history of Kansas City and how they were fighting against prohibition and why beer even exists in that area to begin with, and then why Boulevard came to be. Like that was and also you paid $15. I paid $15 for the public tour, and then got at least 35 ounces worth of beer out of it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It was so
the
worth
older
it.
The brewery and the bigger the brewery for sure, the more value you get out of the tour. Not just from the beer, but it's like an experience for sure. You wind up hearing history because history has happened. They've been around for 20, 30 years, whatever it happens to be. They were a part of a neighborhood change that took place. When I worked at Harpoon, I think this is characteristic of any brewery that's been around for 20 to 30 years. You were buying or leasing warehouse space that was previously uninhabitable. Right. The reason they moved in was because it was cheap. They had a lot of space, but the neighborhood otherwise was decrepit. Like there was just nothing happening there. And then you actually get to live through that transformation of when they started to what it is now. And much like artist communities, like everywhere, brewing communities as well have proven time and time again that they can reinvigorate a neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and bring it to life.
Yeah.
So,
gosh.
Yeah, it's totally a valuable experience. As opposed to a brewery that opened up 2 months ago and they're like, yeah, well, Chad was a banker and he's a trust kid, but not enough people told him no about his homebrew. So I'm going to open a brewery, and here's the tour.
And this beer is swill, but don't tell me that.
These tanks are just here for show. We contract brew all of this.
Dude, okay, I'm not going to name the brewery, but I did go to a brewery, and they had their special guest tap as Bud Light, and I was like, get out of my face.
It's Bud Liget, you fucking oof.
Oh, that's what, I must have.
It's French.
It's French Bud Liget.
Yeah, bro.
Bud Liget, it goes into your tongue, and you drink it, and it is great beer.
Yeah, just because you're an uncultured twat doesn't mean that people can't have Bud Liget on their fucking guest tap. Open your mind a little bit, Roger.
That's my bad. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of beer, do you want to open that sour?
Yes.
Sweet.
Is it okay for me to say
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah, we'll do a little reliving of the rotating tap days.
Cool, yeah. It's called Low Funk Sour Ale. It won the GABF 2019 Gold for American Sour Ale, and I have no idea who brewed it.
It's Mobcraft.
Okay, cool. If you would know these. Oh, I thought that was just a batch. Yeah, Mobcraft.
Yeah, who opened a new location, 5 Points area in Denver. It's huge, so please go visit them them because the space is massive and they need people to stay in business. So go do that.
Don't we all?
I know. But what was I going to say?
Sorry,
so with the...
Can't do the glass tilt. So
you're good.
All the head.
Give me the foam. Cheers, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can always pour more. Oh, yeah, that's dope.
What?
That's really good. Wow. Sorry you can't drink it, fuckers.
Sorry.
Anyway, so just to give people a little bit more insight on Comedy Works and new talent, because I know people are always curious to know. The comedy world is one that is not transparent a lot of times.
Not at all.
It's
the hardest.
You actively are trying to get into different clubs. Usually where you live is where everything starts, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard of places asking people to show up for the open mic every single time for like a year, not knowing if they're going to get on. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden somebody taps you on the shoulder and they're like, here's your shot. And then you got to go up and do it.
Hopefully you're ready for it.
And then you're just trying to move up through the ranks from whatever places that are established comedy venues in your town.
There's no guidelines. There's no map.
No.
There's no way to figure it out.
And that's one of the things I've always appreciated about new talent. No, one of the things I've always appreciated about new talent is that like you kind of know where you stand at all times because they have like the tier system there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to get into more detail.
Came up with that. So there's a lot we could talk about. And I think Deacon talked about it in another podcast, I think on Anthony Crawford's podcast from way back when. But from my memory, when I can recall, it was way back when someone else ran, I can't remember the name, and I really should remember the name, who ran the new talent program. But then eventually Deacon started running it, and it was all show up, sign up, go up. It was a Monday night, and it would be the longest night of your life because there'd be so many comics who sign up. But it would be so many, but it also would be the entire scene. Like there would be 30, 35 people.
Yeah.
And that would be everybody. And that would be the whole scene. And at the end of the night, you could get a button that said, I survived Mondays at Comedy Works.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Did you know about this?
No.
Yeah, I'm glad I can share this with you. So there used to be a button you could get, I survived Monday nights at Comedy Works because of just how long the shows would go. And I don't even think that there was a what am I trying to say? Like a limit on how long you could go. I think maybe everyone did 5 minutes, and it would just go on and on and on. So then eventually there just got to be too many people.
Okay.
And so Deacon whittled it down and said, all right, we're going to have X amount of comics show up or go up. And in order to get on, you have to, I think maybe there was a time where you were signing up physically, but then eventually
you have to do prop comedy.
Yeah, you had to absolutely do
We're going to force prop comedy down to everybody's throats. So even if it's not a part of your act, you got to figure it out.
Yep,
you got to hit the dollar store.
Oh, man. God, yeah, prop comedy, magicians. That would be that.
All right, everybody, listen up. We're moving this to a magic and music show only.
No, that'd be the worst. That'd be
so get a goddamn tambourine.
Oh no, God, can you imagine that? The spot right next to the stage is where there used to be a piano. Did you know? Because they used to have improv shows there, so they used to have a piano right there, and that area is called the piano. And so I can only imagine like, oh yeah, they're gonna just throw the piano out there.
Okay,
and
shit. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Anyway, so then it turned into you call and sign up, and that's how the calling began. The hotline started. Yeah. But then eventually it got to a point where I think Deacon and Wendy had talked about, and if Wendy ever listens to this, she can correct me and tell me I'm an idiot. But my memory is that those two figured out the system of this idea of like, we need an internship program to throw someone from this like little pool of newbies and amateurs just trying to figure their stuff out, and then throw them on the list is a pretty big jump. So they created this idea of the almost famous comics, the internship program, if you will, where you're promoted from the amateurs and you're on the list, but you're not a pro doing 30 minutes and headlining.
Sure.
But you're opening and working the weekends and making that transition. And then and from there came this system of B sets, C sets, and newbies. B sets doing 4 minutes, C sets doing 3 minutes, and newbies doing 2 minutes. Because there were so many people signing up and so many people really having a hard time just doing 5 minutes. And it's hard you give someone 5 minutes and they could be great and they could be terrible, but if you don't give them that ability and that structure to grow within, then they'll just they'll just stagnate and they'll just stay in that spot forever, and they won't understand, like, okay, I need to do XYZ work in order to get to 4 minutes from a 3 minute set. Granted, I say all that, and it's really easy to stagnate in this system too. It's not perfect. There is no perfect system, but that system was made specifically to help give little way markers, guideposts, to help people along in their journey to say, okay, look, everyone gets 2 minutes to show us what they can do, because anyone can go on stage and talk into a microphone for 2 minutes.
Sure.
And some people need to be taken off stage as soon as 2 minutes are up. Otherwise, we can't save the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was like, start off 2 minutes. And automatically, if you really care enough about this, you get 3 minutes. And you can have 1 extra minute to do a little bit more, flesh it out a little bit. And if you can show us, if you can show the club that you can handle 3 minutes without issue, without worry, without stress, without problem, and you can make people laugh with consistent, coherent thoughts, with structure, with writing, etc., then you get from 3 minutes to 4 minutes. And then that's the hardest part. That's probably where the most ambiguity comes from,
right?
Is that B set to Almost Famous. Speaking as someone who is still B set and is still living in that ambiguity and is still working through it himself and figuring it out, but in that respect, I can speak to it. It's like that's probably the hardest spot. It's like, how do I get from a 4 minute set at Comedy Works on Tuesday nights and then various Wednesday shows that I can be a part of, either signing up for or in being a part of in terms of either Finding Final Four or New Faces contest or Clean Comedy contest when that happens, if that happens. And then how do I meander in that realm and showcase my talents as a B set, as a host of New Talent Night whenever I get the opportunity to do that, and even that is a strange, like, that's not even always the same pathway that everyone takes, because, and I'm going off on a tangent here too.
Yeah, based on the brevity of this response, you're over 4 minutes, like, easy,
boy.
bro.
Oh boy, yeah,
I cut your mic 2 minutes ago.
You did. Sure. But yeah,
go on.
Like,
I'm just teasing you.
The system itself, again, not perfect, but there is, like, it's there to help people along the way.
Yeah,
and
I think giving that structure is important.
Yeah, and there's really no other club that I know of that really takes it that seriously.
Yeah,
for better or worse.
No, I get it. Yeah, and I also, again, to my original point, was that I think it's kind of good to know where you stand, and instead of living in this ocean of ambiguity with all these other comics about how am I stacking up? You know, there's the notes section that happens after you do your set at New Talent Night as well, where people can kind of get some critiques or notes about not necessarily even how to be a better comedian, but it's like, how do you succeed at this club?
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I think annoys me about the notes sometimes, is that when people talk about it, you know, they're always like, well, they said this or they said that or whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay. They might not be making a comment about your comedy at large.
Right.
But it's really more about, like, how do you succeed at our venue, like at our place, you know? We're not trying to say you need to change everything about who you are.
Unless you're racist, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
That does come up, or I have to sit someone down and say, okay, look, you need to not ever say that ever again.
That's a fun conversation.
On stage or off stage.
Where you get to see the epiphany in somebody's eyes where they, like, realize, they're like, hey, did you know you hate Chinese?
This has exactly happened, just like
and they're
that.
like, no, I didn't even know I hated Chinese people. They're like, but you do. Like, it's
you do. You said it. It's pretty clear.
It's pretty obvious you do.
Oh,
you can't
man.
start off every joke with ching chang chung.
Oh my god, it is so true. That is exact. Oh my god, I can see and have seen exactly that person, and I've had that conversation. Oh, you're giving me so much anxiety just thinking about it, and you see it coming in their eyes, and their face is all denial. They're completely like they smile and they're like, oh yeah, really? Okay. I didn't realize that's what that was. And they're just dying inside. Cause like there's some people who like really truly are like, they're bigoted and they're screwed up and there's nothing you can do. But then there's some people who are all, holy crap, they're having this realization of I was a bigot on stage and I did not realize I was doing that. In front of a lot of people. Yeah. Oh, and they are like, they already felt bad that they had bombed, but then you go and tell them and then you never see them again. They never come back and I feel so bad.
Yeah, they just go back to their little commune in the small town they live in and be like, can you believe those guys thought this was racist? I'm like, no, we say that all the time. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. But as you're saying, notes are supposed to be about like the reflection of that, not change everything about your entire comedy, but like how does your comedy succeed in that room, or and it's not even like what Elliot Woolsey says, and I agree with him, and I love that he says this each time, is that he says these are notes from the perspective of the club. These are not going to be applicable to every show you do. When you go on the road, when you do this mic, or when you go to this place or this club or what have you, it's about this room. And it's also just a reflection of tonight, because sometimes that night is just going to be a weird night for you and your delivery or what have you. And you don't realize until the next time you do it and say, oh, and then you have your aha moment, what have you. It's like, it's always about that moment and that time, and that's the hard part to translate to folks sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people get hung up on the fact that people are making comments about their comedy at large, and that's just not the case. It's like, no, it's how to be successful at this place. Right. But I know you'd mentioned the clean comedy contest. Right. Do you remember when I got disqualified from that like 3 years ago?
It wasn't your Starburst joke.
It was the Starburst joke.
It was the Starburst joke?
And if it wasn't if it wasn't the Starburst joke, it was definitely me talking about drugs. Like, but I wasn't. Oh, yeah. But the thing was, like, it really wasn't me talking about doing drugs. It's hard. It was kind of just like, isn't this kind of crazy that this happened or whatever? But I thought that was kind of funny. They were really like, no, funny. Corey, you clearly had a good set. We can't allow you to pass on to the next round. We can't. You talked about deep-throating a Starburst.
Yep,
the word deep throat can't be used in a clean.
Gosh, unless you're talking about Nixon, you really can't be.
No. Apparently, that's instant disqualification.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't care.
I know, but it's hard because clean means different things to different people and means different things to different clubs and. It's a fun contest and it's worthwhile doing.
I wore it more as a badge of honor than anything else. I was like, I'm the only person this year that got disqualified from the clean comedy competition. It's like, I'm okay, because you know how it goes. Like, especially you're just like, no, I had a good set. I feel better about that. Yeah. It's like, okay, fine. Like, I didn't advance.
What are you gonna do?
I'm happy about it.
Oh man, and I remember laughing about that too, because it's just like you are the epitome of Guy Smiley, and it's like you didn't pass the clean comedy contest, just almost as like insult to injury.
I'm better about I'm better about doing like clean stuff now, and not belaboring on this too much, but you know how just with writing to me, what happens to be funny just happens.
Right.
It's not a matter of like, I am trying to write dirty. I am trying to write clean. It's literally just a matter of this is what I'm thinking about at the time, and this is what people are responding to. So I'm going to keep peppering that more in the sense of like what I'm going to write about. Like, how am I going to try to evolve this bit, this joke, right? Like, it's not a matter of like, well, I'm just going to fucking die on this hill. Or I'm just going to ride this horse until the sun goes down. It's just a matter of like, okay, I found something that works, and I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks trying to figure out how to make that more funny or funnier, right? And then just go with it from there. But I've luckily had in the past few months, in a weird way, I've had like a lot more cleaner stuff come out, but not intentionally. It wasn't like, all right, well, I'm only going to try to work on clean stuff. From here and now.
And you can't force that all the time either. And there are ways that you can go back with your other material and clean it up in some ways too. And that's please have the rest of it.
I gotta work later.
Yeah. it's easier to go back and just clean up old material, and then going through the lens of having hey, I need to clean it up. You end up finding other jokes and end up building from there.
Yeah.
And I think that's a healthy way to go about it.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting down and forcing yourself, I'm going to write clean material. And I was like, no, you're not. Now you're just only going to think dirty stuff. And then you're not going to allow yourself to write any of the dirty stuff that's coming to your mind.
Sure. I'm looking forward to cleaning up my whole story about eating ass. I'm just gonna be like, I was kissing this lady on the neck.
And her neck had a weird pucker to it.
Yeah, it smelled terrible. All right, let's get into a couple of dumb crimes that I found on the internet this week, if that's okay with you.
Let's do it.
So I'll read the headline, then you just give me some immediate response to it. Virginia inmates use toothbrush to dig tunnel out of jail and then head straight to IHOP.
I mean, you had me at use toothbrush. I'm like, I didn't think people in Virginia just use toothbrushes, period.
Yeah, right? Like that's... No, you're thinking West Virginia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's nice parts of Virginia.
Okay,
there are some nice parts of Virginia. But it wasn't a new toothbrush, probably. What'd be funny is, like, if it took so long to dig the tunnel, they're like, well, it's time to go to bed. We got to brush. You know, this took a while.
Yeah, so what? So they used a toothbrush to dig a hole, Shawshank Redemption style.
Very much so. Hopefully it was tucked behind a poster of a lady, man that you found very attractive, you know, and then the warden finds out about it the next day when you stole his shoes.
Yeah. Well, and they find out that you're at IHOP. Why are you IHOP of all places?
Well, that's the... All right, so that I think is the leading question.
Yeah, what?
If you were to break out of prison, first thing on your mind?
First thing...
Not pussy,
Man,
clearly.
No, not at all.
IHOP.
It's IHOP.
Do you think was it just something warm? Was this an American Pie situation where they just wanted to, like, feel the warmth of something?
Pie.
No? Well, there's that famous scene where they, like, what's fingering a chick like? And they're like, oh, it's like sticking your fingers in a warm apple pie, right? So was it a matter of...
connections here.
Did they hook up with the pancakes first? Probably not. They just wanted some IHOP.
It sounds like, gosh,
So what would you get? What would you eat?
If my first time out of jail, getting the IHOP. I just
out of jail is a very loose term for this. Like, just got out.
I mean, honestly, I just probably get the biggest stack of pancakes I could get.
You would do pancakes.
Oh, absolutely would do pancakes.
But not like, let's exclude IHOP. Like, would you go? Would
where would
pancakes still be the first choice?
No, not at all. I'm thinking, I don't know, dude. I'm thinking too much I've seen too many movies. I've seen too much stuff where it's like, I'm not thinking of going to a public place. I'm thinking of trying to find a new pair of clothes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find, because I go to IHOP, there's no way I can make money or like that I have any money to pay for the food. And there's no way I look well enough to, if anything, I'd be going to Denny's before I go to IHOP based on the way I look.
In this hypothetical situation, you're still an honest human being. You're like, I couldn't think of how I would pay for the food.
Well, but it's just like I would get caught. Like that's just my thinking. Like, you got to think so many steps ahead. Like I'm definitely gonna get caught here. I need to find a way. I got to eat food out of garbage for a little while and get myself square so I can look good. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
For a little while.
Absolutely.
That's what I was thinking too. Is just like you would have to, in my mind, you would be figuring out how to be in the cover of darkness for a little while, right?
Yep.
Not just immediately go to an IHOP.
No. You got to get as much distance between you and the prison as you can. And you have to figure out how to disguise yourself as best you can. If you can find some kind of razor to shave your face and cut your hair or whatever. I'm thinking The Fugitive, man. I'm thinking about Harrison Ford. I'm not seeing American Pie, but I've seen The Fugitive. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about how Harrison Ford handled that moment.
You didn't go to IHOP?
No, absolutely not. I think
I'll take the waffles. That's how I knew something was up. The guy came to IHOP.
Yeah, like, waffles.
This person clearly hasn't been in society in a while.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's the International House of Pancakes. Hello. Have you not left Virginia?
So you don't have I think I would do Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. Place to eat.
Because that's in and out. Like, that's quick, you know?
Yeah.
Just walk through the drive-thru in an orange jumpsuit and just get the hell out of there.
I mean, and at Taco Bell, they wouldn't question it. It's
No.
like, okay, just another Wednesday.
They're like, you want a job? Like, you clearly just got out of prison.
Yeah. You've got the uniform for what the job is, so may as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You look like you
it's
know how to
true.
fold a quesadilla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, that would be my food of choice if I was going to break out. First thing,
Okay.
because I also think that these guys might have known they were going to get caught, so they just wanted a good meal.
That's true too.
Right before they got out.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Food of choice. Gosh. I mean, if I'm in Virginia, they don't have Good Times. Man, Good Times is good. I do like going to Good Times.
I've never actually eaten a Good Time.
You haven't.
That's a Colorado thing, right?
Mm-hmm. It's very
It's
good.
like a Colorado fast food chain.
Absolutely. Yeah. Though if there was an illegal Pete's, I would probably go to illegal Pete's first.
What's the order?
It's the same order every time. I get the burrito bowl because you get the most food for your money.
Mm-hmm.
Burrito bowl, veggie burrito bowl, extra, both rice, both beans. That way you get extra beans and extra rice. You don't just do one beans like an amateur.
No wonder you're a criminal. You
Oh,
want
yeah.
to cheat the system.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. The reason why I am in America, like my lineage, is because the King of England imprisoned my great whatever grandfather for tax evasion, imprisoned him, and then sent him to America to pay for his crimes and sins.
Wow,
So,
what a poor guy.
Yeah. so I'm very much like as in my genes and in me is like, nah, I gotta cheat the system as much as I can. So yeah, both rice, both beans. That's how I cheat the system. Both veggies, potatoes for extra, and then more potatoes through the potato green chili, and then pretty much all the hot sauces, onions, olives, lettuce, cabbage. And then I get sriracha because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, that's a good meal, especially fresh out of the joint.
Oh man.
So one of the quotes from the article was, I extend my gratitude to the Newport News Police Department, the Hampton Police Department, blah, 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 department for their assistance in our attempt to recapture these inmates. Moreover, I'm thankful for the citizens who observed Garza and Nemo at the IHOP and notified law enforcement. So what I'm wondering is, like, the people that ratted on these guys.
Yeah.
What were they seeing that they were like, these guys are criminals, right? Was it the way they were eating or how they were dressed?
Yeah, because not to dehumanize an imprisoned person at all. Because if you're in that stage, like that place, like you are just chowing down.
They're not using
going to
utensils
town.
at all.
Probably not, because you're probably still in that fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not one to dehumanize someone that's been
No, you're thinking of like a desperate person.
Yeah.
Like, you're not trying to dehumanize anybody. It'd be like somebody that was like lost in the woods for like 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Tom Hanks been on that island for however long talking to a volleyball, and now you get pancakes. Yeah,
Table
you're
for
gonna
two.
go. You're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your volleyball right across the table from you. Have a wonderful conversation while you just take a big handful of pancakes and shove it in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely.
Yeah. That seems like the plausible thing I would go with. All right, man. Well, that'll do it for our dumb crimes of the week. What did you bring for us to the table today? I always preface that, this show is all these stories are fabricated or embellished in some way, so that way they cannot be used in the court of law. I don't know if that actually holds up or not, but it can be an instance where it was a crime you committed, something that you witnessed, or something where the police were involved.
Gotcha. What I was going to tell you about was a lot of people don't know this story about me, but the one time that I was arrested in my life, and it's very strange how it happened.
Yeah, you don't seem like an arrestable fella.
No.
You're pretty above board.
Yeah, I'm pretty open and honest. Never got detention. Never got suspended. Never, even though I got the tax evasion in my genes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm more that white collar crime type of person.
You've literally been fighting this demon inside you for too long.
Yep.
And it just burst out.
It just happened. I just had my moment. But the story is I was driving. This makes it even worse. I was driving from Little Rock to Fayetteville back when I lived in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And with a friend of mine, we were leaving a barbershop harmony conference in Little Rock.
Damn it, Roger. I mean, if you couldn't be more picturesque barbershop quartet, just from people looking at you.
Dude, this
if
mustache.
you're listening to the show, please check the YouTube video because he is spot on.
100%.
Yeah.
I got it. I got the Ned Flanders barbershop in me all over.
you get into a street fight with another barbershop quartet, and everybody's got scissors and a straight blade just at the ready.
Absolutely. Oh man, it's to preface too. It's 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday, driving from Little Rock to Fayetteville,
Wholesome.
From a barbershop harmony conference.
Y'all are just doo-wopping in the car.
Oh, we actually are. We 100%. We got a CD. We were playing the CD in the car that is people's vocal parts, and I was the bass, and my friend was a baritone. So the piece that we had in the car was the tenor and the lead, and we were singing with the radio recordings that we had playing of whatever, of like My Light a Rose, or like Light a Rose, or my Wild Irish Rose, and Sweet Love of Mine. We're singing all these songs.
Without knowing what crime was committed in the future, I love the idea of a doo-wop band, like just on the way. Gonna rob a bank on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Gonna rob a bank out today. Oh, ooh. Shoo-ba-da-bop.
That's exactly what happened.
That's the vibe.
Oh man, it's exactly it. So the thing is, I was speeding. I was going quick. This makes it even worse. I was going quick because I was trying to make sure that I got to church choir performance for Sunday morning church choir.
Yeah, clearly you haven't done enough good today.
Oh, no.
We need to get to the Lord.
So I'm going quick. I'm speeding. Also, everyone else around me is speeding, and they're going faster than me. But I'm right at the exit for Fayetteville, and I get pulled over. It's like, and I was by myself. There's no one around me to justify the whole, I'm maintaining speed of traffic. So I get pulled over. Officer comes up and says, "Hey, Roger, I need your license and
he knew you
proof of
firsthand.
insurance."
He's like, "Hey, Raj."
Oh yeah, exactly. That's
hey,
right.
Hey,
yeah, the police officer.
Hey,
was
Raj,
like, "Hey, Raj,
loving the tunes." I'm
I
one of
love
your
that
biggest
four-part
fans.
harmony. Oh man.
Yeah, standard
man.
compliance. Though I need your license.
Yeah. So license and proof of insurance. And so I handed him my license and proof of insurance. He goes to the car, comes back, and he says, "So it turns out there's a warrant for your arrest." And I freaked out. But then what I recalled was that I had been pulled over months prior for speeding. But the thing was, when I had been pulled over, I had my license and I had proof of insurance on a previous car, which coverage holds over onto this car. But that officer was a jerk and didn't understand or know that. And then had me need to come to court, show my proof of insurance for the new car.
Okay.
And
not a fan of your music, clearly.
No, not at all.
Yeah, would help.
So, but I paid the fine for speeding, forgot that I had to show to court for proof of insurance. And
big gig, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. You were like, I can't make this.
No, can't
this
make
could be my big break.
No, man.
Yeah.
So I forgot all about that, and that's what the warrant was for a failure to appear.
Yeah, okay.
And so the officer says to me, "All right, you're going to have to get out of the car, and I'm going to take you down to the jail, the county jail, and your friend is going to drive and follow us to jail, post bond, etc., and get you out." Well, then my friend looks at me and says, "Roger, I can't drive a stick shift. I drove myself to jail."
Whoa! Wow, your own funeral.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, what are you wearing at the time?
I was wearing flip-flops.
Oh, okay. So I thought in my brain, I'm
It's a
thinking
big
this
thing.
is like a formal gig,
No.
something like that, or
No.
something that you were doing. There was like a show or something.
Like
Yeah.
this was, I was wearing flip-flops and shorts and a t-shirt, whatever. It was just driving garb.
Casual
it wasn't much.
Arkansas garb.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So he can't drive a stick shift. I was hoping you were going to say, I also have a warrant out for my arrest. Just a car full of felons.
Of felons.
Just trying to get to church.
Yep. Yeah. And sing for the Lord.
To be saved. Yeah. 'Cause we're clearly a car full of sinners.
No. Yeah.
So he can't drive a stick shift.
He can't drive a stick shift.
Not a good time to teach.
No, you can't teach how to go from first to second in a situation like that.
Yeah, in a routine traffic stop.
No, not at all. No, you can't.
So you had to drive because the cop didn't know he's not going to drive your car.
No. So I mean,
also would have been funny. Like, well, I'll take your car.
Yeah, we'll swap cars.
Yeah.
You drive the stick. I'll drive your car.
The cop's like, yeah, I know how to drive a stick. What do you think? I'm not a man? What do you think? I'm not a
don't think I got hair on my chest? What are you talking about?
Yeah, watch, step aside, son. Just burns out.
And I'm there with a cop car, and it's like, I don't even have the keys for this now. I don't now I'm stranded. Oh man. So yeah, I drove myself to jail, and I parked my car. And the officer was kind enough to say, like, look, just go ahead and take all your stuff out of your pockets here in your car and leave it with your friend. And so I gave him my wallet, gave him everything, got out of my car, got into his car, and drove 20 feet into the garage. And then I got out of the car. I didn't get cuffed or anything. And then I went to jail, and I was in the drunk tank because it's a Sunday and everything else was full, and they just stuck me in the drunk tank with all of the frat kids.
Oh, really? What's the scene like in there?
Dude, well, the scene was full of just bunch of frat kids, and they were all walks of life, all weird kids, and not just frat kids, but also just like Arkansas hooligans, if you will. And then I was wearing flip-flops, but the thing is you can't wear your shoes.
Oh, so you just got to go full Margaritaville in here and just go barefoot.
Yeah, I'm barefoot in jail. I was sick for several days after that because of whatever I had on my feet and like whatever.
What are you sucking on your toes?
I guess so. I don't know, dude.
Sick?
I don't know, dude. But I just remember feeling glick everywhere I walked because there's no way those floors are clean.
Oh, no, absolutely
not. They didn't give me slippers. They didn't give me anything because they don't want you to wear your shoes because they don't want you to have shoelace and then tie yourself up and then hang yourself.
Yeah, because you're like, I'll never be able to explain this to my mother. I should hang myself with Jeffrey Epstein style with my goddamn shoelaces.
I couldn't make it to church. Oh, man, I better kill myself now.
There's no repenting back from this.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
So wait, no slip-ons. What is our prison system called?
I don't know. And it's Arkansas. It's Arkansas system, so they probably just think, everyone doesn't have shoes. Like this is just normal. It's normal to
Everybody's
be barefoot. Everyone's barefoot. It's
Arkansas. You're better than me?
Yeah. What in the world? There are no sneakerheads in Arkansas. I can guarantee that being the case. But there are all these folks around, and I remember being there, and it got out. That's like, what are you in for? What are you in for? Everyone's asking those questions. Like, I'm in here for escape of trying to escape the cops' pursuit and going across whatever county lines. And then I'm in here for terroristic threatening of a minor and battery and assault. And then they get to me. He's like, well, I'm in here because I didn't show up for proof of insurance a year ago. And they all lost their minds. They were laughing so hard. It's like, you're in the drunk tank because of a failure to appear for insurance?
This guy's like, I beat up my kid.
Yeah, you're in this room? What the hell is wrong with you? And they said, do you have insurance now? I said, yeah. Like, oh my God, you're still this. They couldn't handle it. So every time a new person came into the drunk tank, they said, okay, look, dog, you got to stay on this side over here because this person over here has no insurance. You have no idea what he's capable of doing and the hole he's going to put you in. It was, They were ragging on me so hard. It was so funny. It was so fun.
It's good. A good old fashioned roast.
Oh, it was great.
That's fun.
It was so great. But yeah, eventually I got out. I ended up talking to my mom. She let me stay in there all day. She thought I was selling drugs. She thought I was doing something. When I finally told her what it was I did, she laughed at me, and yeah, it's just like, okay, well, you're as much of a loser as I thought you were, Mister going to Little Rock and singing barbershop music.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I think that's a mom's general instinct, is to be like, they must have done something terrible, but you're like, no, it's incredibly mundane, and also so mundane that everybody in prison is going to make fun of me for it.
Yeah, dude, even the guards were making fun of me, and I had a friend from high school who was a prison guard who saw me and was like, what the hell are you doing in here?
You're like, hey, Bob.
Hey. And they started ragging on me, and like everyone in the whole system was like, oh, this guy just making fun of me.
It's also kind of messed up because you're like, you could let me out of here, right?
Yeah.
Like if this is such a
expedite this. Yeah.
Ha.
No, it's like, no, we gotta do it by the book, which I appreciate to some extent too, but it's like one of those like, okay, look, let's save all of ourselves some time and paperwork. Fill it out, give you your call, talk to the bondsman, pay your bond, get out of here.
Got on your way.
Yeah, but no, I was there for 12 hours.
Damn.
And almost had to stay overnight. all the folks in the drunk tank were telling me, all right, be prepared to, this is the story you're going to tell everybody in case you stay the night, because you are not going to be okay if you tell people this whole insurance gig.
Oh, yeah. It's like when somebody gets an injury and it's something that's incredibly mild, like how they actually got it. I'm like, just say you fought like a mountain lion.
Absolutely.
Something. Just play it up like a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, after you get out, you're like, yeah, I got a prison tattoo. When I was in there for 12 hours, I'm part of the Crenshaw Mafia now.
Oh my God. Oh man. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, man. Well, thank you very much for sharing your story.
Thanks for having me.
Let everybody know where they can find you for any comedy or social media purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically every Tuesday is New Talent Night. I'm always there. On next Wednesday, the 27th, if I recall. That is my Funny Final Four, the Cinderella round. Sick. I don't know when you get this posted, so that show may be
it's probably
long
be posted
gone.
Next week.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And then I've got Don't Tell on March 30th and April 15th. Which
Sweet.
I think that's the most that I can tell of Don't Tell.
Yeah, of course, right? Yeah. Go to Don't Tell Denver, Google it, or go to don'ttell.com to look up any of the show dates on there. And, dude, thank you so much for joining the show and being on. And, great
Thanks,
to see you.
man. Appreciate you.
Bye.